Welcome to almost the hottest happy hour in ATL because we have nothing, no, not even a mocktail, nothing. We're exhausted from the week. Let us complain. Does anyone ever come? I need you all to let me vent. Will that work?
Just vent,
I
Kelly.
need to vent. Like when you go to the hairstylist, the minute they put their hands on your shoulder, all of a sudden you just want to. Can you imagine what a stylist goes through every day? As soon as they start to do someone's hair, they just start telling them everything in their day that they're exhausted by and they're
I don't
tired.
I don't know how they do
They
it.
got more scoop. They could blackmail
But there's
people.
people who enjoy that. That's like, yeah, tell
Tell
me,
me
tell
more,
me, tell
maybe
me.
so.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Well, I would be talking about if someone was doing my hair. Thank goodness our little olives. All right. So if you don't know by now, we have Olive the Bulldog. If you go to O Olive, OH Olive, OLiveTheBulldog.com, you will see this precious little princess that lives in our home, which of course my
Princess is right.
children's book, which you can't see, it's over on the shelf on us, but is our princess. It's her world. We just live in it. And she got sick. I mean, if you have an animal that you love, ours is our dog, and she
There she
was
is.
throwing up, and it's very dangerous for a dog when if they throw up more than a couple times, something seriously wrong because they dehydrate really fast, kind of like babies.
There's your book.
There it is. Babies dehydrate really quickly. But if you go to allofthebulldog.com, you can meet her. You can see my children's book. My second book launches November 3rd if you've got a child or you enjoy children's books. But we took her. What is he'd left me home. I wasn't feeling well, and I don't do well in situations. I probably would have made everybody insane. But Gordon rushed Olive to the emergency vet, and that they're
It's
called
a brand new one. There's one
Brentwood.
in Brentwood, and there's one now in St. Peter's, and it's VEG Veg. I call it Veg. Um,
But was it for a
it's
veterinarian
see,
emergency? What's the G for? Group?
I think so.
Veterinarian emergency group, possibly, but veg.
But yes. So anyway, unbelievable. Usually, when first of all, you're stressed out. When you have to take your dog into an emergency vet, you're
Child.
already stressed. I will tell you that the minute I walked in, they relieved the stress levels. They made you feel right at home. They've got couches, they've got separate rooms. So even if you were to take your dog in and it needed emergency surgery, they would allow you to be in the room with the dog while the dog's having surgery if that's something you could
They
handle.
wouldn't want me in the
They wouldn't
room.
want her in there. But I mean, they want you to be next. The only time they wouldn't let me be next to Olive was when she was getting x-rays, which of course they don't want you in the x-ray room. But they treated her like a princess. I mean, they just made me feel at ease.
They say,
I saw the x-rays within minutes. I was seeing the x-rays of what they took, so I could see that her stomach, maybe they had something in there. They didn't know for sure. And then they had me come back the following day. They will lay out everything before they do any procedures. They're giving you the cost of every single item of what needs to be done to the dog. And so they're going to tell you this is the items. Now, if there's something that you don't want to do, please tell us. Like, no, I don't want x-rays. Boom, that price comes off, the x-ray comes off. So it's
not cheap when your dog gets sick. It's almost like, and you can get insurance on your animals, but it's, I guess, just like, go to the
they
hospital.
were talking about that there too, that they even had insurance on their own dogs. Uh, yeah,
But
especially with the bulldogs.
But if you do have an emergency after our experience, that it was really,
Highly recommended it.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
really great. So I'm so glad that you actually had met them. We just want to mention the City Lifestyle magazines. It is the October issue. They are out. Clayton, Chesterfield, St. Charles, Billy Bush, credible human being, is on the cover of our magazines out at the Bush Brewing. I'm sorry, Bush Family Distilling and Brewery, however you say it, it's the Bush Family Farm, and it's absolutely beautiful. And we're thrilled to know Billy and be a part of their wonderful place with our hot list party and lots of fun things ahead. So, but as we move along, it is that time where there's lots of things going on. This show today, we're going to kick off. We're going to obviously hear what SheBang has to say. They help us to age gracefully and realize that it's okay to talk about your hormones, whether you're a man or a woman. And I have to say, the postcard for our hot list party that went in our swag bags, I I emailed them and I said, "Wow, definitely attention grabber. Wasn't it something like, hey, let's talk about your box?"
Yeah.
Her box. I'm like, wow. I mean, way to get your attention. But guys,
FCC is going to be calling.
are all about the woman. It is about the woman, but really and truly men as well. When you're aging, bioidentical hormones are they are the fountain of youth because I don't, there is no way around losing your hormones. It's just part of aging. Hearings, eyesight, things start to decrease, I guess, as you get older, and you don't have to let that happen. And replacing your hormones naturally makes all the difference in the world. So I don't
Yep,
know.
for
I don't
men
know
and
if we're
women.
going to be
Yep.
just as surprised as you are as what they talked about today, but they're coming up next. Cat Muse, of course, always has the bands and what's rocking in the city. We're going to hear what she has to say, and then Gordon's back with a Soul Strings interview, and this time it's with Dream Theater. And what is his
Michael
name? Mike.
Portnoy.
Michael. I call him
Portnoy.
Mike. We're best friends or something.
Yeah.
Michael.
And he's the drummer for Dream Theater, incredible drummer. The whole band's incredible. We're going to go see them. I get to go see them. Kelly doesn't have to.
Yeah, he
October
says
the
that
14th.
because the music is really intense rock and roll. I mean, there's so many different
A
levels.
lot
You
of
can't
songs are
stop.
8 minutes long.
Wow.
And so you're going to be like, okay.
But it was cool because when we were talking on our last show with Abigail Stahlschmidt, talking about how, she knows Michael as well. In fact, he, I think, was in a song with her. They did something
Right.
together. And she was saying that, the music is really based around a symphony level.
Progressive rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and I get, all music obviously comes from, you know, jazz and class and blues
Blues,
and
especially the blues. Yeah. Elvis Presley came from
gorgeous
the
stuff.
blues, a
Yeah,
lot of blues roots, Rolling Stones, those kind of guys.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They all come together. But it isn't music. It's incredible music. It's just not my style. Doesn't I mean it's beautiful music or fabulous, I should say. Very, very talented. It's just not not
Not your style.
yeah, not my style, but it doesn't mean it's going to be amazing for you and everyone else that's there. But there are a lot of great things going on this weekend. We've got, oh my goodness, there's
Wings and
Evolution.
wheels, fly in.
Yeah,
What is that, Kelly?
well, it's a vintage aircraft. So if you're into, you know, airplane stuff and vintage, nostalgic, that is going to be military planes.
I'm
And
into
of
the
course,
Speed Demons car show. That
yeah.
sounds pretty
And
cool.
what I love about events now is they really try to make everything very family friendly. So there's a kids zone, food trucks, all those kind of things that you can take place. And then I've never heard of Evolution Festival. If you,
No,
well, apparently it must be big because you got headliners like Lenny Kravitz, Sublime. They're going to light up Forest Park over the weekend. That's quite incredible.
yeah, that'll be fun.
Of course, artists, vendors, booth, things like that will be taking place. And then throughout Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, throughout St. Louis into St. Charles, there's quite a bit going on. St. Louis Bourbon Festival, that is a big event. We even did a story in our magazines on it and have never been. And I'm surprised because you love bourbon and whiskey that we haven't gone and
I like it. I would say I love it. I mean, yeah, I like it. I enjoy it.
well, I mean, it's a thing where you like to sit down and have a cigar and it's not like you sit around and drink bourbon all the time, but you'd think, with an evening of bourbon tasting, that would be a lot of fun.
Well, the it's at the Lemps Grand Hall and Lofts. I don't know if I've been there.
I know I don't believe that I have. It's kind of funny. There's so many places in St. Louis and throughout the Metro St. Louis to visit. I mean, you'd need to go every day somewhere to try to and you still couldn't get through everything that's incredible here. We just get so used to it, we don't take advantage of it. You got of course, we've already talked about the World in St. Louis exhibit that's still going on. You got the St. Charles Paw Parade that's in Blanchette Park. So get your pet dressed up, take them out to Blanchette Park
Does
and
a
have some
dog
fun.
d-
10 a.m. to 1 on Saturday.
does a dog town have a dog parade?
I think so. I'm not sure when it is, though. It's not on my list, at least,
No,
for this
right. But I
weekend,
would
but
it just made me think of that.
that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Dog-
Dogwood.
Dogwood is what I
Kelly called
call
it
it.
Dogwood a
Oh my
while
God.
back.
Witches on Main. That is a big deal.
A lot of people are doing the witches now. Remember Kimswick? I think is where it's
Oh,
first
I'm sure
started.
that's where it started.
Kimswick, they had the witches. I'm gonna never forget one time I had to be there for some reason. I had to be in Kimswick,
Probably a music deal.
and I forgot about the witches, right?
Oh
So
my
I'm
God.
driving around and I see all these people, these witches, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I didn't know anything about it at the time, and so I was
Yeah.
like, what are all these people dressed up like witches
Yeah.
for? So
Even Newtown had something last year, witches and warlocks or whatever. So everybody, grown-ups love to dress up, don't they? But that's on Historical Main Street. That's from 3 to 10. That's on Saturday. Crafting Circle, if you like crafts, that's going to be at Bromslick Park at 2 p.m. on Saturday. I'm not, there's a fall festival going on at the same time, so it's probably a little bit part of that. There's a lot going on at Bromslick Park if you're out in the St. Charles area. Have you ever, the Missouri Cowbell?
Mo Cowbell
Yeah,
Marathon.
Mo Cowbell, that's been going on a long time. That's taking place on Sunday if you are
I wonder
a
how they got its name, the Mo Cowbell Marathon.
Mo Cowbell. I don't know. I will have to find out who named that and why. Cows don't move very fast. Do they ring cowbells?
Well, I kind of took it as Mo as slang for more. So more cowbell, Mo
Like
Cowbell.
like Will Ferrell?
Farrell,
Yeah,
that's all I
not
can
that
think
one.
of.
I have no idea. Behind the Feather, a century of weather bird history, a field house museum. That's ongoing, but you can go by there and see that weekend. Anything more fun that's something different that really stands out to you? You know, we've got some things actually in our magazine that are going on. There's the 24th annual Gumbo Flats Pumpkin Run. That is at Chesterfield Town Center. That's at 6:30 a.m. on October 18th. That's going on. So that's a little bit further ahead. But there, I mean, we definitely got some great events inside our magazine. If you go to citylifestyle.com, you can do / Clayton if you're in that area, Chesterfield or St. Charles. We've got lots of good Billy the Kid concert. That's this weekend, October 3rd, Billy Joe tribute. Are you a
Yeah,
Billy Joe fan?
Billy the Kid was the name of the song on Billy Idol, Billy Joel's Stranger album.
Oh,
It was
okay.
called Billy the Kid.
There's
I
truck
think it was Stranger album. Yeah.
Trucks and Treats. That's in, let's see, let me make sure which magazine I've got. That's in Chesterfield. Climb up the driver's seat and explore big maintenance trucks, emergency vehicles, machines, and more. And then lots of treats, of
Is
course,
that a
for the
kid event?
kids.
I'm
Well,
guessing it would
I
be.
guess if you want to jump up in a
Adults would
truck
be like, I want to go drive the
and
big
leave, yeah,
trucks.
going on. So there's some fun events that are taking place, but you can check that out. Party in the Patch, that's going to be at Shaw Park in Clayton. You got the historic Shaw Art Fair October 4th. If you love art, you can do that. So there's definitely a lot. It's amazing how much is going on every single weekend around the different area. There is really something to do all the time. And you can, and of course, like I said, go to citylifestyle.com, find your city, and you can find out some great events that are taking place. You know, something that before we SheBang to listen to them, just want to say that I thought it was really cool. Just caught a little part of Kelly Clarkson.
Skinny Kelly Clarkson now?
She looks fabulous,
Yeah.
unbelievable. She looks so great. She looks like she's 15 years
She
old.
does look like she's 15.
Yeah, I mean, she's not that old, but she looks amazing with her weight off. But she caught my ear because she was singing. She opens her show and sings, and I was like, oh wow, look at her. And then her show today, her theme was "It's Never Too Late," and so that caught my eye, and I had to stop and listen. And so she had different people on that are later in life that are making it. And there's a new movie that now I want to see after sitting there. Charlotte Johansson directed it. And then I can't say the name of it because I kept waiting for it. So I'm going to actually look up the
All I
older
remember
star.
is it had pancakes.
Yeah, she did. There was the older woman who was making her
The trailer was they were showing them in a diner eating pancakes.
June something, and she is this older woman who is making her star role in the age, I think she's in her 70s or whatever. And so then there were two women. This is what caught my heart or whatever, was two women. She had two women stand up in the audience, and they were 95 years old. They're sisters. One's 95, one's 94. And they said, no, it's never too late. She said, since I've been learning about being an influencer, I wanted to be an influencer. And at 94 and 95, these two women go around to bakeries in different cities. They, of course, film it. They put it on YouTube. They have an incredible following. They're grandmas, great grandmas, and they're influencers. I mean, big time influencers at 95 years old. I just think that is the coolest thing ever. You don't ever have to stop. It's never too late. If you've got a dream or something you want to do, and of course, we know the guy behind McDonald's, Colonel Sanders, Rodney Dangerfield. I know I'm taking people that take us way
Morgan
back.
Freeman, you got
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman. He didn't get a start till he was, well,
Betty
say
White.
is I would say a good starting role because remember Morgan Freeman was it the show Zoom that was on Channel 9? He was on one of those kids programs when he was young.
So was my children's book. PBS just featured O'Olive on their Teacher Room 9, so you can take a look at that. It's really cool. I was just tears in my eyes watching it. But anyway, back to Morgan Freeman.
No, that's great. Yeah.
But you never know when it might be your time where you hit it big with a passion that you have.
Betty White
Yeah.
in her 50s.
50s to 80s when she became a household name. I mean, you just really never
Susan
know.
Boyle.
Mhm.
She was on Britain's Got Talent. Remember, she won.
That's right.
She was
Oh my
48
gosh,
years
that's
old.
right.
Yeah,
Bigger woman. She wasn't some kind of flashy model
yeah,
and made it big. I mean, you really, and a lot. So I would have to say probably a lot more people may have a chance of making it now than back in the day of Betty White or Laura Ingalls with her show Little House on the Prairie. She was really old getting her break. Now there are more channels because of the internet,
yeah.
with all the different influencing and podcasts. And,
We talked.
there was only a few channels on TV and radio. So you had a very limited chance of being heard. But now, there's just so many channels. I mean, you do have an opportunity of having that one thing go viral that takes you there.
But what is that? Do you know? Me and my son talked about that the other night, and we talked about oversaturation with everything. Everybody's got a
Yeah.
podcast. Everybody's got a radio show. Everybody's an influencer. Everybody's got something to say on Facebook. But I mean, and with AI coming, it's just going to create even more crazy chaos of how many things can be done. But it, think about that. I want everybody to think about what could you do that would be different than anything that's out there that nobody else is doing.
That won't be a one hit wonder and just be gone. That'll really
I mean,
make
that's hard to
movement.
think about
Yeah. And
today.
that's why very few people end up getting that moment is because that isn't easy. The other night, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm asking AI another stupid question. And I laughed to myself. I'm like, I wonder if AI is on the other end going, well, this girl is really an idiot. She is really stupid because some of the things I ask, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I'm talking to a real person sometimes, the way it talks back to me when I'm asking it a question. It knows everything.
I asked ChatGPT, my AI, I asked, what would you like to be called? And it gave me a girl's name. And it said, but actually, you can call me this if we're being playful, or you can call me this if I'm in a good mood, or if she gave me like 4 names to call her. I'm like, wow. I almost want to go, you're a bit naughty, aren't you? Let's see what would have came back.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of naughty, let's go ahead and take it to SheBang and hear what Dodie
Good
and
segue.
have to say. Good for you.
Hey friends, welcome back to Fast Track Friday. I'm Laurie.
And I'm Dodie, and today we're going to get really honest about something we're both feeling right now. The world feels like a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but lately it feels like my head is on a swivel. Every time I open my phone or turn on the news or even try to relax, something else is demanding my attention. Some new crisis, a decision, a headline, or something that I have to take care of.
Right, and it's like we can't get a breath. And over time, that kind of constant stimulation, it does a number on our nervous system.
Yeah, you think so?
Mhm.
Exactly. When your nervous system is constantly in alert mode, it becomes dysregulated. And that's a fancy way of saying that your body is stuck in stress. When that happens, your brain has trouble telling the difference between a real threat and just life being extra loud.
You start snapping at people, you're forgetting things, feeling anxious for no reason, or totally shutting down. For some of us, it shows up as burnout. For others, it's panic, it could be depression, insomnia.
Yeah, the last thing we need is less sleep
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and in midlife, when our hormones are already shifting, it can feel impossible to come back to center. But the truth is, we can do it. And it's not about controlling the chaos out there, because guess what? Most of it we can't do anything about. It's about building inner tools to remind your body that you are safe right now.
Right. So today we're sharing 5 simple things you can do right now to regulate your nervous system. Not someday when life slows down or when the world calms down, but today.
If it ever
happens.
So you can't think your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. You have to feel your way out of it. And that starts with body awareness. Right now, pause and ask, where am I holding tension? Is my jaw clenched? Am I breathing shallow? Are my shoulders up around my ears?
Now, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, wiggle your fingers, and feel your feet on the floor. Plant them flat. This simple awareness, just coming back into your body, sends a message to your brain that The threat has passed. The stress has alleviated.
Yeah, and this is a practice. You might have to come back into your body 10 times a day, and that's okay. It's not about getting it right. It's just about getting present.
Right, just being conscious of it.
Mhm.
So number 2, this one is pretty simple, and it sounds ridiculous, but it actually works. But we like ridiculous things. So
We like easy things.
yeah, when your anxiety is high, splash cold water on your face or run your wrist under the cold water. Even drop your face into a bowl of cold ice cubes. Okay. Even holding an ice cube for 30 seconds can bring you back to your center.
Yeah, that's a great tip, actually. There's actual science behind this. Cold stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps reset your parasympathetic nervous system. And that is your rest and digest mode. So it's just kind of your body doing its thing and not being in like complete chaos.
Yeah, that's good. And it's also great if you're someone who spirals into overthinking. Cold water can. I'm gonna throw water in there. Cold water can interrupt. Yes, we do both do it. Different times, thank goodness. Cold water can interrupt the spiral and bring you into your body really fast.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so this is something that I've been using a lot lately, and it's called orienting. So here's how it works. You look around the room and you say either out loud or silently, if you're somewhere where you can't say things out loud, 5 things that you see, 4 things that you hear, 3 things that you feel, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you're grateful for.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually like giving your brain a soft landing place. You're gently reminding your body that you're not in danger and you're in a safe space. So we're not being chased. We're just overwhelmed.
A lot. We're very overwhelmed right now. Yeah, this is great to do before like maybe a big meeting or after reading or watching the news or when your emotions feel bigger than your body can hold.
Okay, so this might sound a little woo, but humming is a nervous system hack. When you hum, you stimulate your vagus nerve as well.
Yeah, and that's the nerve that helps you calm your heart rate, regulates your digestion, and it shifts you out of fight or flight. So you can hum your favorite song, or you can, if you want to get really woo-woo, you can chant Om, or even close your mouth and make a soft humming sound while you're breathing.
Right. And it's great while you're driving by yourself. Or cooking or waiting in line somewhere. It's subtle, but it works. And guess what? It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
This one's my favorite because I am woo-woo. You can put your hand on your heart and say that I'm safe. There's so much power in self-soothing. Your body doesn't always need a solution. It just needs a signal. So take your hand, put it over your heart, take a deep breath and say slowly, I'm safe, I'm here, and I've got me. Midlife, it's wild enough. Let's not gaslight ourselves into thinking that we're crazy for feeling unsteady. The world is overwhelming right now, and it always has been, and it always will be, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
But you don't have to carry it all inside.
Right. So, use these tools if you want to. Share them with a friend and give yourself grace on the days when it all still feels like too much or super heavy. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. We're all human.
Mm-hmm. And we are in this with you. If you want more support, you can come find us on Instagram at SheBang Menopause or head over to getshebang.com. We've got lots of free resources, conversations, and tools that actually help.
Take a breath. We're all doing great. You're doing great. And we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dodie and Lori. Always great information. We appreciate that.
I don't know what to think sometimes when I listen to them. It's like, they're awesome.
So since you just got SheBang, let's go ahead and see what Cat Mues has to say. What's rocking in your city?
Thanks, Kelly and Gordon, and here's what's going on this weekend in music.
Friday, start off your weekend right with Billy the Kid, the definitive Billy Joel tribute at Chesterfield Amphitheater. The Fry Project will be at Bindy's in Granite City, and Toxic Johnny will be at Crow's Mill Pub. Mayday Rocks will be at Starlight Pub, where all the best musicians play and the music matters. And 90 Proof will be at Dog Prairie Tavern. Self-Inflicted will be at Redfish Bluefish, and Borderline will be at Trainwreck in Westport. Saturday, Shock Treatment will be at Beachwoods Campground at Lake of the Ozarks. Bad Habit will be at Metro East Pride in downtown Belleville. And Dave's Not Here will be at Nancy's Night Shift. Rock Mafia will be at Salvatore's in St. Charles. And Top Heavy will be at Starlight Pub, where all the best musicians play. Sunset Strip will be at St. Charles Music House. And Rat Run Weekend starts. Top Guns will be at the Tiki Bar in Portage Sioux. Sunday, Fun Day, Rat Run Day. Smoke and Fogey will be at Bunkers. Wrath of Khan will be at Longshots Tiki Bar. And Foreplay will be at Longshot Saloon on the main stage. This week's music is Bad Motor Scooter by Montrose in honor of Rad Run Weekend. Give it a listen and let's ride. Live music is better. Thank you for supporting our artists and venues. Check out STL Roar Monday nights from 7 to 9 and have a safe week. Stay
Thanks, Cat. Always love hearing who's playing and where they're playing. And they're probably not doing like Zach Brown. What was his name? Zach Brown, who got 112, played to the biggest audience ever, musical history, 112,048 or something like that.
The Busch Stadium, how many people does that hold? 62 or something?
No, it's like 40 something.
Oh, sorry.
But think about this. You know how big Chiefs Stadium is? I think the Chiefs Stadium is like 70,000 something.
Wow. Just think of how, and where did they play? How big's what plays there normally? I mean,
it was
that many people are in there all the time.
The Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, which I don't know how many that holds, but obviously 112,408 fans.
They have, if it's a 70,
and they're on the ground too.
Right, they've got the whole ground filled as well, so that would give you a lot of extra seating. But I don't know about 30,000 people on the ground.
No,
I mean,
but I mean,
incredible.
And they sold $5 million in merchandise. That's incredible.
Brown's got it going on.
Yeah, speaking of someone who has it going on, and that is St. Louis Closet Company. St. Louis Closet Company always has it going on. They got custom storage systems. They can design it to, I don't care if you have a small closet or a large closet. A great thing about them too is they're locally owned, locally manufactured. You don't have to wait. So if you've got a closet that you want designed, you don't have to wait. Everything's tailored to you. They build it right there on site. Like I said, anything from small or anything all the way up to even Nellie. What she did a closet for Nellie. We keep talking about that, but I mean, it doesn't matter. And
the smallest is what they have the most fun with, because you're taking somebody that has no space and making it feel huge by, make it larger with the way they organize it. But
do yourself a favor, go down on Big Bend in Maplewood, go to their showroom. Just walking in their showroom alone will give you an opportunity to see exactly what they can do.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
Thank you, Jennifer Williams. She is all about supporting local. Woman knows business. 35 years, she knows what she's doing.
So right now we're going to take it to a small break. So we'll be right back. And when we come back from break, we've got a really great interview with Michael Portnoy. He is the drummer for Dream Theater, which is coming up October 14th. So when we come back from break, you can get to hear that interview on my Soul Strings episode. All right. Well, hey, joining us today is one of the most iconic drummers in progressive rock today, and it's Mike Portnoy. Mike with Dream Theater, it is great to have you. I know you're over there and you're finishing up on probably your last 4 dates of the tour.
Yeah, we're in Athens, Greece today, and we've been here for almost 2 months at this point, doing all of the amazing European festivals that go on every summer, and it's been an amazing run. But we're about to wrap up with the final week of shows, pretty much this last week.
Well, Mike is the one of the founding members of Dream Theater, 32-time Modern Drum Award. Wow. And I think you've been on the magazine, 5 times on the cover?
That's correct. But who's counting?
Who's counting? Well, tell me a little bit about how the tour's going. It's your 40th anniversary for Dream Theater. Tell us a little bit how the tour's going so far over there, and give me a little bit of insight of what has been the most memorable part of this tour so far over there in Europe.
Well, we started this tour back in October, so we've been out here for 9 months or whatever. We did a European leg back last fall. Then we went to South America for a tour there in the winter, and then we did a full U.S. run in February and March. So we've already been around the world in a lot of these markets now celebrating the 40th anniversary. And like I just mentioned, we're over here now for a second European leg, doing a lot of festivals and summer shows. We're playing a great festival tonight here in Athens. And it's been amazing. We're celebrating 40 years of the band being together. We're celebrating me coming back to the band and the reunion of this lineup. And we're celebrating a new album, Parasomnia, which we put out this year. And we're going to continue with a US leg in September and October. And that will be our second time through the States. And this time around, we'll be performing the Parasomnia album.
This is the biggest tour I think you guys have ever done, isn't it?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, actually, in answer to your question, you asked what was the most memorable. I mean, the first night in London back in last October, we played the O2 Arena, and it was just an epic celebration. People came in from all over the world to join us and celebrate this lineup again. And yeah, it's been amazing each and every night. It's been the biggest tour this band has ever done in our 40-year career. It's been epic each and every place we go.
Well, on a sad note too, and then we'll get back more to the band. We just found out the news about Ozzy Osbourne passing away yesterday. How's that been for you guys, and what has been the reaction over there on your tour with the news breaking yesterday? And do you have any memorable stories of Ozzy yourself?
Well, for me personally, it's been really a somber 24 hours. I haven't even been with anybody else since the news broke. We had a day off here in Athens, so I've been in my room just celebrating the life and music of Ozzy and Black Sabbath, just listening to the music on constant shuffle, and just brings back so many memories. I mean, it's hard to think of a world without Ozzy. I mean, he was there impacting everybody's lives, and anybody from every walk of this industry, from musicians to actors to athletes, somebody like him really impacts so many lives around the world. And, my very first band when I was in junior high school, we were playing all the Ozzy and early Sabbath albums. So, I mean, I literally grew up with him. And it's been an incredibly sad 24 hours here. And, but the show must go on. So we're going to play tonight here in Athens and celebrate music and celebrate life together. And there'll be a lot of tears and a lot of smiles of joy as well, thinking about all the great stuff and the great times.
Pull Me Under was the first Dream Theater song that I heard. And was that 92? And you guys just captured me on that song.
Well, thank you.
Well, I'm sure that song, because that was the one thing that got you guys noticed as far as on the radio and the airplay in America, was that song. But out of all the songs that you've played, which one is the one that really just captures you and just sticks with you throughout this whole 40 years of playing?
Well, I mean, over those 40 years, there's hundreds of songs. And like the cliche goes, it's like picking a favorite child. They're all important to you, and they all mean different things to you. So I guess I'll just comment on Pull Me Under, being you mentioned that particular one. I mean, that was the one that started it all for us, and probably I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now all these years later if that song hadn't caught on the way that it did. And it really catapulted the band into the big time. We had been around it for around 7 years at that point, having started in the mid 80s. But then when Pull Me Under hit in 92, suddenly it just opened up the floodgates for us, and we've been here ever since. But there's no rhyme or reason to it, because when you look at it on paper, that song should not have worked at that particular time. It was an 8.5 minute song in the heyday of grunge and alternative music,
right?
And we were the opposite of everything that was popular at that time. We would hear the story everywhere we went at that time. Every DJ said they would play it, and people would light up the phones like, who the hell was that? What was that? And I guess we were like the alternative to alternative at that point. So I guess maybe we were the right band at the wrong time, but somehow it clicked, and we've been able to persevere, all these years later and still be doing what we do.
I've listened to some interviews with you and listened to some things that you said, and it's like I know some of the influences in your life. I won't make you go through that again, but I mean, it's Bonham, it's Neil Peart, it's with Rush, and it's Keith Moon. And I heard you talk about, you didn't want to become a casualty like some of your favorite drummers, some of the people that you idolized. And so tell me a little bit about the 12 steps and how you've put that into, because a lot of people don't know about that, about the 12 steps and how you put that into some of the songs. And give me a little, tell our audience about that. I think that's really interesting and I love it. And I commend you for what you've done in your life. And I think it's awesome, brother.
Well, thank you. I mean, that was a series of songs that I wrote with the band, obviously. And, I wrote the lyrics too and had the concept of, writing about the 12 steps. It was a big, big part of my life at that point. I had just gotten sober in 2000. And the albums we made, the next 5 albums we made at that point had these songs that were interconnected. And I wrote about a few steps on each one. The first song, The Glass Prison, covered steps 1, 2, and 3. Then came This Dying Soul with steps 4 and 5, and so on and so forth, until I had written these 5 songs that covered the 12 steps. And it was, it was pretty cathartic for me. It was therapeutic for me to be able to write about how the steps changed my life and saved my life at that time. And through the years, I've met so many people that have connected with those lyrics, and it helped them as well, with their struggles. So yeah, I mean, it was a very important thing for me to get out of my system. And it's still unfinished business because I left the band shortly after we completed the 12-step suite back in 2010. So it's still kind of on my bucket list to eventually come back and perform these 5 songs in its entirety, the way it was meant to happen. So that's something that hopefully will happen down the road still at some point.
I was listening to an interview where you're talking about some of the guys that you played with when you took that break away from the band and you got to play with Tony McAlpine. And it was like a buddy of mine, David Van Landing, who was a lead singer for Michael Schenker Group for a short period of time. He was a good buddy of mine, a good friend of mine. And he actually he played in a band with Tony. I think the band was called Mannequin back in the 80s. And when I heard that, I was like, well, that's kind of cool because, I haven't heard his name in a while. And when you brought that up, I was like, that's pretty neat.
Well, I had, during my time away, I had, the honor of working with so many unbelievable guitar players. During those 13 years, I played in bands with Tony McAlpine, Steve Morse, Paul Gilbert, Bumblefoot, Richie Kotzen. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, I played the Tony McAlpine benefit show. I was with the house band, and at that show alone, I played with Nuno and Tom Morello and Zach Wilde and Steve Vai. And, so yeah, the list of guitar players I've been honored to play with over my career is just mind boggling. I have so much gratitude for it.
We want to ask artists, who was your inspiration and who inspired you? But have you ever been surprised by an artist that's come to you and said, you know what, you've been a big inspiration to me and I'm a big fan, and just kind of floored you and you went, wow, I never thought you would be a fan of me, Has that ever happened to you?
It happens all the time. There's a lot of younger drummers that I guess, I forget that I'm a little older than them, so I forget that maybe they possibly listen to me as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name drop, but yeah, it happens every day. And so many amazing younger drummers that are on the scene today, and not even younger, so much younger. I mean, even guys that are in their 30s and 40s and have been doing this for 20, 30 years themselves, mention it to me. So it's always the biggest honor, when you hear about that kind of thing. And it's especially cool when it's people you really don't expect, maybe from different genres, that you'd be surprised that they listen to what you have done. But yeah, it's always a big honor and always flattering.
So, when we're talking about different types of music, being a fan outside of prog music, what's a band or artist that you're listening to right now that fans wouldn't expect you to be listening to?
Well, if any fans know anything about me, I don't think anything about my listening taste would surprise them, because I've grown up admiring everything from the Bee Gees to the Osmonds, and I've covered everything from the Bee Gees to the Osmonds, through these years. So I don't think anything would surprise anybody if they know about my musical taste. But there's a lot of weird things I listen to. Right now, my favorite album at the moment is this band called Igor from France. Igor with 3 R's at the end, and it's very crazy ethnic music, but it's also like death metal and Celtic rock and I don't know. It's just a weird combination of different styles. But I have a very, very open mind, and I love everything from the Beatles to Pantera and everything in between. That's just always been my musical taste.
I heard you say about the Beatles, and before in an interview. What is your favorite Beatles song? If you can pick one, I know there's
I,
hundreds, but I mean,
yeah.
what is your go-to Beatles song?
There's no go-to. It changes every day. I mean, even my favorite,
Well,
forget
yeah.
about song. It's hard enough to just name an album. Like my favorite Beatles album, one day it'll be Revolver, one day it'll be Abbey Road, one day it'll be something like Magical Mystery Tour. It changes constantly. The White Album. I put together a Beatles tribute band with Paul Gilbert many, many years ago, and we did 2 series of shows and put them out on DVD and CD. And between those 2 different concerts, I think we played like 75, 80 different songs, covering everything from Flying to My Name, Look Up the Number, and everything in between. So yeah, I'm a Beatles fanatic, and there's no way I could possibly pick a favorite. They all mean so much to me.
What is something new that you've added for our drum geeks this year that you love that you've added to your kit this year?
Well, no, not that one. Go back one more. That right there. It's not the best shot because you're only seeing a partial bit of the kit, but that's the kit I'm using on Dream Theater's current 40th anniversary tour, and it's a triple bass kit. It's absolutely massive. It's a drum village practically. So yeah, that's my custom kit that I'm using now. I have a couple of them that hopscotch each other on tour over here in Europe at the moment. And it's just a massive Tama, Sabian, Remo, Promark, Latin percussion, drum village. And, at this point in my career, I'm lucky enough to have such great support with all the endorsement companies I work with. And they pretty much build me whatever I could dream of. So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the new album and what we can expect when you come to Chesterfield. I don't know if you've ever played the Hub. I don't think you have, but I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a great little theater.
Well, we're really proud of the new album, and when I rejoined the band, we immediately went into the studio and started making a new album. So we didn't begin touring until about a year after I reunited with the guys. So the first order of business was to make this album, Parasomnia, and then the second order of business was to get on the road for the 40th anniversary. So we have yet to really fully embrace the new album live. We play a couple of the songs in the 40th anniversary set, but we're looking forward to doing a proper tour, paying attention to the Parasomnia album, which will begin in September. And when we come through town, that will be the focus. We're going to be doing an evening with. The first set will be Parasomnia in its entirety because it's a bit of a concept album in terms of the way it's laid out in terms of the flow of the album and the soundscapes and the storylines. It's very much like watching a movie. So we want to be able to present it that way as well. And then with the second set and the encore of the upcoming tour will be a mixed bag of Dream Theater stuff. We've also shared the fact that we're going to be performing A Change of Seasons for the encore, which is celebrating the 30th anniversary of the release of that epic song, which is a 25-minute epic and a fan favorite through the years, which I haven't played with the guys now in a couple of decades. So it's been over 20 years since we performed it together. So between Parasomnia and A Change of Seasons and still celebrating the 40th anniversary and the reunion of this lineup, there's still a lot to celebrate, but we're really looking forward to digging into the Parasomnia album because we put so much into it and it was such a special album for us to make.
That's great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you October 14th. I know I've got tickets. I can't wait to see the show. Appreciate you giving me the time today to get a moment with you and get to chat with you, and wish you guys the best of luck on the last 4 nights of your tour.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me and good talking to you.
You too, brother.
Wow, that was incredible. I mean, he was a little bit, I could tell in the beginning,
Well, that was because that was when
it
this
was
was recorded, it
heartfelt.
was when Ozzy had passed
Yeah,
away. So it took me a minute to get him
warmed up.
reeled in and warmed up a little bit because he was
Plus, he
still
was in
thinking back.
France, wasn't he? So you went
Yes.
to a different time zone.
Yep.
He's traveling and
Actually, it
having
was
some
about
time,
4:30 or something like that, and they were just getting ready to go back and
take the time to
yeah, to go to sound check.
Does that make you wish you were back in the musical industry and rocking the stage when you talk to somebody like that? Or you're like, "Huh,
Well, as you listen to in the interview, there were some times in his life that were challenging. So some of that kind of makes you think, about the music industry's tough.
yeah,
Being on the road's tough.
yeah, late
And
nights.
and always feeling like you always have to entertain, always feeling like you have to do something after the show, it's tough. Yeah.
Was a great interview. So thank you for sharing that with us. Looking forward to the concert that I won't be going to, but Gordon will be going to. We wish you an amazing rest of the week, your weekend. Stay safe, but enjoy every single minute. Until our next episode, cheers.
Cheers.